Hello everyone. I hope you all are safe and healthy. Today in 11th Commerce, we are going to discuss chapter number 1, accounting and its terminology. This is the second part of the chapter. In first part, we have discussed introduction related with account, then different definition given by some bodies, and finally we have seen the characteristics of accounting. Let's move to the second part. Now, here are the objectives of accounting. Basically, there are 9 different objectives of accounting. We are going to see each and every one in detail. Just for your record, understand this. First one, that is permanent records. Second, to know the effect of each transactions. To know the influential factors. To determine tax liability. To know the quantum or the size of payables. To know the quantum of receivables, to measure the profitability of business, to know economic status of the business, and the last one, that is to detect or to avoid errors and frauds. Now let's see each and every one in detail, starting with the first one, that is permanent records. Now what is considered as permanent record? You know what we are doing in accounting, we are putting transaction which are monetary in nature. So finally what we are doing, any transaction or any event which is incurred in the business, we are going to record that in a written form. Accounting is totally a written work, so the all the records are permanently stored in the books of accounts. Same way, some of the institutes are now using computer instead of these books. So the records are kept permanent in that particular books. So that is the first objective of accounting. Second, to know the effect of each transaction. When there is consideration, when there is something in written condition in the business, what we are saying, this effect on overall profitability or the economic condition, we are going to compare that. So ultimately, any of the transaction have some effect on the business. So what we can do, we can see the effect of each transaction on the overall profitability of the business. So this is only done with the help of accounting. Third one, to know the influential factors. Now what is considered as an influential factors? Now some of the factors which are really affecting the profit and loss of the business, and they are able to find out with the help of only if we are preparing books of accounts. If we are not getting good productivity, that also we can find out with the help of accounting. So these are some influence and factors. With the help of that we can obtain or we can come on some kind of conclusions. So to know the any kind of influential factors, we need to prepare accounts. Now let's move further. Fourth one, that is to determine the tax liability. Now, what is considered as a tax liability? What kind of accounting you are doing? Okay, at the end of the preparation of your accounts, what we need to do? We have to calculate the tax and we have to pay it to the government. So when we are preparing our accounts, we are able to understand what will be our tax liability or what can be and how we can do the tax planning with the help of this. So this kind of burden can be reduced if we make proper books of accounts. So that is the fourth objective. Now let's go to fifth one, to know the quantum or the size of payables. Now, what is considered as payables? You know, in business there is cash transaction as well as credit transaction. If I go to any of the shops, whether I pay the amount in cash or otherwise, they will give me the product on my credit. So, at the end of the year, you are able to identify how many non-payments are there. Non-payments, that means the people who don't pay you the amounts. So that means these all are the credit transactions. Or ultimately, this will help you to understand how much payables are there, how much people where we have to pay. Okay, from how many business we have to collected some goods and we have to pay them the amount, that will be understood or that can be found with the help of accounting only. Now the sixth one, that is to know the quantum of receivables, the opposite of payables, where receivables, that means we have given something, okay, and like credit purchase, we have to same way what we are doing, we are here selling the goods on credit, so we have to receive the amount that is considered as receivables. So how much amount we are going to get in the future, that can be determined with the help of accounting. That means all non-receipt of the amount is shown in the books as a receivable, and at finally we are able to get them contacted and we can get the money. So that will be helped with the with this accounting only. Now seventh objective of the accounting, that is to measure the profitability of the business. Finally we are doing whether we are doing profit, whether we are making loss, we are incurring loss or not, we have to find out. Otherwise if there is we are not able to maintain the economic condition of our business, what we are going to do, we are going to close the business. So that can be understood with the help of accounting only. Okay, so it will help you to measure the profitability, or to whether we are incurring loss or not, we can come on some of the conclusion with the help of accounting. Now next one, that is to know the economic status of the business. Now how we can go on an economic status, let's understand it. Now whether we are going to know that if the liabilities are high or the assets are high. Now what is considered as liabilities? Liabilities, that means these are the people where we have to pay some amounts. These are the peoples where we have to pay some amounts, they are considered as a liabilities. And what are considered as an assets? Assets, that means these are the assets or receivables from which we have to collect the money. Okay, so now if the economic condition, how we can determine that? If the size of liability is higher, then it consider as we are making some losses. If the size of the assets or receivables is higher, that means we have to get some more money compared to the liabilities. So it shows the good position. So we are able to understand our economic status with the help of accounting. Now the next one, that is to detect and avoid the errors and frauds. Now, when we are maintaining books of accounts and when we investigate them with the help of these accounts, we are able to trace the real mistakes which we have made in the books of accounts. So, accounting helps to maintain, or it helps to maintain the indirect control to avoid the frauds and errors. If we have made any kind of entry, if we have made any kind of mistake in an entry, if we have omitted, means we forgot to put an entry in the books of accounts, then also we are able to catch that particular error or fraud, that means if someone has done with intention to do that, so we can find it with the help of accounting. So these are the basics, 9 different objectives of accounting. Let's go to the next point. Next is advantages of accounting. So there are total 10 different advantages of accounting. Starting with the first one, let's me give you the brief idea about this. First one, that is availability of accounting information, to know the profitability, to know the financial status, tax planning, valuation of business, decision making as an evidence, comparison with the past operation, moral control, and the corrective measures. So, if you know that, if you compare it with the objectives, they are nearer to the this. So, almost they are same. Let's go in detail. Let's check them. Advantages of accounting. Starting with the first one, that is availability of accounting information. Now, with the help of this, what we can do, if we get the proper data, the owner can make decision what he want to make. So this is the first advantage of the accounting. This is the first one. Okay, if the accounting information is prepared by any owner of any of the business, if the information is readily available, it can be used by the owner as and when it is needed. When you have all the data, when you have all the information, so you can use it whenever you require. If you know that if we start any kind of business, we have to maintain our books of account for at least 8 or 9 years. We have to make ready 8 or 9 years accounts. If the income tax comes to your doors, and if they ask you for the books of accounts, you have to show them at least of 8 to 10 years books of data. So if the information is correctly with you, then it will be the best advantage. So this is the first advantage. Now second one, that is to know the profitability. So after end of some accounting period, what we are making? We are making final statements. So from these statements, what we are able to do? We are able to compare whether we have collected the profit or we have incurred the loss in the business. So this is the second advantage. Now move forward. Third one, that is to know the financial status. So at the end of the period, what is the size of the liability for the business can be ascertained. If the liabilities are more, that we have discussed previously, if the liabilities are more, it shows the weak condition. Your business is not making good profit, it is not in a good condition. But if the assets are more, then it shows the strong condition. It shows the strong condition. If the strong condition is there, then you are able to understand our business is making good profit. And if the condition is not good, that means if the liabilities are higher, then it ascertains the data that we are making or we are going to make the loss. So we can know the financial status with the help of this. Next one, that is tax planning. What can we do for the tax planning? You know that we have to pay so much taxes to the government. So we are able to determine the tax size on the basis of the transaction of the business. If the business is making some amount of profit, then we are able to know that we have to pay 30 percentage or 20 percentage as a tax. So we can do plan for that. Okay. So with the help of this, we are able to make the plans. So for that, you can meet some professionals and they will help you how to make the planning related with this topic. Okay. So this is about the tax planning. This is one of the best advantage of the accounting. Next, fifth one, that is valuation of business. Now, in practice, sometime if the owner wants to sell their business, if someone is not happy with their business, what they are going to do? They are going to sell their business. So, how we are going to manage or how we are going to know that what is the value of the business? So the value can be ascertained with the help of accounting. If the accounting shows a good condition, then the value will be higher. If accounting doesn't show the good condition, then value will be lower. So this is the fifth advantage. Now the next one, that is decision making. What is considered as decision making? When the different forms of business like sole proprietorship, partnership, or the company prepare their own accounts, account plays an vital role in decision making. Every books of account is different. Sole proprietor make their own different accounts. Partnership will make some different forms of account, and same way company will make different forms of account. So everyone is doing their own work differently. So in any kind of decision making, accounting will help them. Okay. So accounting plays a vital role in decision making. This is one mark MCQ as well. Now let's go to next slide. 7. As an evidence. Now, you know that accounting is prepared on the basis of some rules and regulations. Okay, rules and regulation, rules and principles. And same way it is written work, whether it is written in the books of accounts or whether it is written in computer. So it is written work. So this will help when any kind of issues are there between the partners, between the customer and the shopkeeper, then this will help as an evidence. Okay. Then next one, that is comparison with the past operation. What we can do? As you know, we are making accounts for one accounting year. One accounting year, that means for 12 months. The month starts from the 1st of April and ends at 31st March. So for that particular year, we are creating an account. So what we can do? We can compare our data with the past operation and we can compare your performance on the basis of whether we have taken the profit, whether we are not able to maintain the profit. We can compare it with the past operation. For example, for the year 2019-20 and year 2018-19, we can compare the data of both the years together. Okay, and on that basis we are able to know whether our business is making profit or not, what is the economic condition of our business, that can be compared with the help of this. Next one, that is moral control. Now what is considered as moral control? First, accounting is a written form. Accounting is always in a written form. So this can be used as an evidence when there is any type of disputes. Compare it with the previous one. Any kind of disputes are there, we can go for this accounting. Then to control the frauds, this can be used. Accounting assists to keep the moral control over the employees. They know that if we made any kind of issues or we can do any kind of fraud, we can be found with the help of accounting. So this makes control on them. Next one, that is corrective measures. What is considered as corrective measures? If you have made any kind of mistakes, so the accounting will help you to find out your actual mistakes and helps you to suffer, not to suffer in any kind of making wrong decisions or any kind of issues you are making. So it will help you to make some corrective measures. So if you prepare the right correct books of account, then there will be no issues. Okay, and you are going to get good credits in your business. So these are the advantages of accounting. Now, even as you know that coin has two sides. We have seen the first side. First side shows the advantages. Now, let's see the second side, that is limitation or the disadvantages of accounting. The first limitation of accounting is non-financial transaction. Second, stable value of money. Third, that is historical transactions and event. Fourth, avoidance of market value. Fifth one, that is use of estimates. And last, that is dual standards. There are six different limitations of accounting. Let's see them one by one. First one, that is non-financial transaction. We know that we are only going to measure the things which are monetary in nature, which have some economic effect on the business. But what if someone has good loyalty in the business, someone is honest in the business, some has different kind of commitment towards the work in the business? These things are not going to be measured. We are only measuring the things which are financial in nature, so this is the first limitation of accounting, that is non-financial transactions are not recorded in the books of accounts. Same way, let's go to the second one, stable value of money. This is again an issue. Let's assume that we have purchased a property 5 years before for 50,000. We have purchased it for before 5 years. Now, after end of the 5 years, if we are going to sell that property, sell that particular thing, then what amount we are going to get? We are going to get more than this. Let's take an example of a land. If we have purchased a land in 50,000, after 5 years we are going to get 1,50,000 for that. So that is just because of inflation in the market. So, but in accounting we are only recording the data which we have taken when we have purchased that. We have to show that amount in the books of accounts. So that is again a issue. Stable value of money is not there. Third one, that is historical transaction and events. So what we are doing is take the same example which we have taken in the previous limitation, that we are only recording the data which are historical in nature. Now what is considered as historical? That means no corrections are allowed when we have made any kind of transactions or mistakes, but historical transaction and events are useful to take the future decision. What we are doing, we are always maintaining our books of accounts on the basis of historical transaction. That means if we have purchased the land in the year of 2005, we are going to show the value of 2005 for so many years. For example, Reliance Industry has started their work in the 90s. So when they were making books of accounts, they have to show the value which they have put in the years of 19, not the right now present positions. Okay, so this is again a limitation. We are not going to get the actual amount in the business. Next one, that is avoidance of market value. what we are avoiding, we are also avoiding the market value of the assets. Okay, and same example you have to apply over here. Market prices keeps on changing. Every time there will be change in the market. Depends on the future contingencies, there will be change in the market value. So that is also an issue. In accounting, market value is ignored and the actual cost based on the treatment is given. What cost happened when we have actually purchased the property? So that will be written in the books of accounts. So what we are doing, we are avoiding the market value. So that is the fourth limitation. Let's go to next one, that is fifth one, use of estimates. Now, what is considered as estimates? For example, I have given some goods to someone. For example, I have given goods of rupees 50,000 to Mr. X. After end of the year, he is not able to pay 50,000. He told me that give me 3 more months, I will give you the money in 3 months. So on that basis, what we have estimated that on the basis of some past experiences, on the basis of some logics, I come to the conclusion that this Mr. X is not going to pay me the money. 50,000 I am not going to get. So that is considered as a bad debt in the business. That is considered as bad debt in the business. What term we are using? Bad debt. Okay. So on that basis, what we are making? We are estimating that in this year we are going to incur a bad debt of rupees 50,000, 60,000 or 1 lakh, and that we are putting in basically profit and loss account. What does it show? It will reduce your profit. It will reduce your profit. So actual books size will not become just because of this. So this is again a limitation of accounting. Now next one, that is dual standards. Now what is considered as dual standard? Understand this. There are basically two components of account. One that is profit and loss accounts and second that is balance sheet. Now what is profit and loss account is doing? They will help you to find out what is the actual profit of the business or loss of the business. This will help you in that manner. And what balance sheet will show? Balance sheet will show you the actual economic condition of the business. That means what is the real scenario, how we are going to earn the profit, what kind of debtors we have, creditors we have. That terminology we will discuss in next session. But understand this, when we are making profit and loss, what we are doing? We are considering actual cost. We are considering actual cost. But when we are preparing balance sheets, what we are doing? We are considering historical cost. Historical cost, that means take the example of Reliance. They have purchased the property in the 90s and we are putting the value of that 90s years in present accounting year. But when we are comparing with profit and loss account, we are only showing the value which are current in nature. Okay, so this is considered as a dual standards. So this is also an issue, or that is also an limitation of accounting. So basically there are 6 different definition of accounting. Now next one, that is qualitative characteristics of accounting information. This question is asked in many exams for 2 marks. You have to give more importance to that. First one, that is relevance, reliability, comparability and understandability. These are 4 different qualitative characteristics of accounting information. If we prepare the accounting, if we prepare books of account, this will help. These are the qualitative characteristics of that. First one, that is reliability. So what is considered as reliability? If we prepare books of account as per the rules and regulations, so it shows the correct position of the business. So ultimately, if the correct books of accounts are there, then automatically there will be increase in our trustworthiness related to the business. That is called as reliability. That means we are able to rely on this data. Okay. Next one, that is relevance. What is called as relevance? Relevant information is that information which meets the needs of the users. Actually what we want and whether we are going to get that from this or not. As you see my videos, if we are not able to grasp what I want to say, then you are not going to see it again. So that is called as relevance. Relevant information is the information which meets the needs of the user. If the user wants this and if we are providing him the real things, then it is considered as a relevance data. Okay, so this data will help you in future context, in past context, as well as in the present context. Okay, next one, that is understandability. Okay, now what is called as understandability? When the information is clear in nature, we are able to understand it. But for that, what we need to do? We should know books of account clearly. If the students of science is going to know about the balance sheet, okay, so he is not going to get anything from that. He is not able to understand what does it mean. So proper knowledge should be there. If you have the proper knowledge and if you are understanding it in proper way, so that is clearer. So that is the next characteristics, qualitative characteristic of accounting information. And last one, that is comparability. What we can do, we can compare the actual profitability, the actual economic solvency, that means whether the business is generating money or not. Okay, compare it with 2 periods, 3 periods. Some researchers are doing research for 10 years, so we can compare it with this. So ultimately, this is the conclusion: reliability, relevance, understandability, and comparability. When you are making total of all this is considered as fully correct and useful information. That means if you want a qualitative characteristics of accounting information, it means the data should be reliable, the books of accounts or accounts should be relevant, understandability there, and comparability should be there. So that is called as fully correct and useful information. Now next is users of accounting information and their needs. So basically, there are different types of user when we are preparing some books of accounts. So basically, there are 12 different types of users. One, that is management, shareholders, potential shareholders, creditors, employees, tax authorities, customers, foreign entrepreneurs, regulatory bodies, professional bodies, researchers and analysts, and the government. So these are the different authors, or sorry, these are the different users of accounting information. Okay, same way, users are of two types: one, that is internal users, and second, that is external users. Now what is called as internal users? When someone is directly connected with the business, they are considered as internal users, and when someone is indirectly connected with the business, they are considered as a external users. Let's start with the first one, that is management. Now, when the shareholders, management means what? Understand this: shareholders means the person who purchased the shares of the company. Okay. Now, as per the rules, as per the law, if you purchase shares of the company, then you become the owner of the company. Okay, and if you become the owner, you are putting some representative to do the management. That representative will be known as your board of directors. So how accounting will help the management? The board of directors can see the books of accounts, and on that basis they can make some decisions. Okay, they can measure the real efficiency of the management with the help of that. Okay, so they are called as internal users. Internal, that means they are directly related with the company, they are directly related with the business, then they are the internal users. Okay, next one, that is shareholders. Now, as per the legal provision, management has to send some certified reports. Certified reports, that means certified copies. The copies which are certified by the chartered accountants, which shows the true and fair value of the business. Every copy should be sent to the each and every shareholders. When you are sending this to the shareholders, that will be they are what they are going to do. They will analyze, they will actually check the published financial and non-financial reports. Financial, that means financial statements, and non-financial, that means what activities, different activities, CSR activities, different practices they have done. They are going to check it in the reports and the information. On this basis, what they kind of what decision they can make? They can make some decisions whether to become the shareholder of the company or not, or whether continue to invest in the business or withdraw our money. So they are considered as a internal user. They are also considered as an internal users. These are the continuing. These are the shareholders who actually have purchased our shares. Okay, so they can make the decision whether to invest more or whether to withdraw the money. Now the next one, that is potential shareholders. Potential shareholders are those people who want to invest in your business, who wants to invest in your company. Now, what they can do, they also analyze the financial and non-financial transactions, and on that basis, whether the potential shareholders wants to become the actual shareholders, that decision they will take. They are considered as a external user. Actually, they are not part of the company right now, so that's why they are considered as a external users. Next one. Sorry, the slide is up and down. No problem. Customers. Now, what is called as customers? Customers means the person who purchase something from the business. Okay. Now, they have the significant potential to make you earn the profit. If the customer is not there, you are going to sell the product to whom? That is the issue. So, customer will get the idea from the books of account that what will be the price of the product, what kind of service your company is going to give. That means whether they are selling the goods on a cheaper price, whether they were increasing the price of the product, that can be measured with the help of this. They are also considered as a external user because they are directly not related with the company. They are external users. Next one, that is foreign entrepreneurs. They are foreign entrepreneurs. Okay, what is called as entrepreneurs? Entrepreneurs means the person who want to do some kind of business, but the idea is kind of different. They are considered as an entrepreneur. Now, foreign entrepreneur, someone is doing cross-border business. Their delegates will be known as foreign entrepreneurs. After economic reforms, that means after implementing LPG, liberalization, privatization, and globalization in the year 1991, each and everyone comes to nearer, and we can sell our product to any of the country, and same way any other country's person can sell their product in our country. So if any of the entrepreneur foreign delegate wants to invest in your company, in your business, they can do just by see your books of accounts. So you know what is the importance of account. By this you are able to know. So they are also considered as an external user. External because they are directly not related with the business. Next one, that is regulatory bodies. Now what is considered as a regulatory body and what they were doing? Starting with a company form of business is controlled either by the government. Government is controlling the company, otherwise some regulatory body will control the companies. For example, SEBI, Security and Exchange Board of India, which is totally monitoring the share markets. IRDA, insurance companies monitoring is done by the IRDA. So they will do the monitoring work by checking their books of accounts, by making some rules related with the books of account to these particular companies. Same way, these are the external users. Fourth one, I have made one mistake. This slide came first and this comes second. So you have to first you have to write these three: management shareholders, then potential shareholders. Afterwards, you have to jump over here. Fourth, creditors, employees, and tax authorities. Afterwards, you will go to the next one. Okay. Now let's see the fourth one, that is creditors. Now, who are considered as a creditor? You know, we are selling our products to many of the peoples. Okay, so on which basis we are selling our product, whether we are selling our product on cash basis or credit basis. So same way, we are purchasing goods from few people, whether we are paying them amount in cash or whether we will collect them from the credit. So creditors are those people from which we have sorry from which we have taken the goods, or these are the people who gives you the goods on credit. They are known as creditors. For the business enterprises, they are known as your creditors. So ultimately their money are with us, okay, because we have purchased some goods from them on credit. They have sold something to the on credit to us. So what we can do, what they are doing, they will actually see the economic condition of the business, what kind of potential actually the business have. If our economic condition is not good, they are not going to sell more products to us, okay, and if the condition is good, they are going to sell many more to us. That can be helped, that can be measured with the help of books of accounts. So they are also considered as an external users. Next one, that is employees. Now employees means the people who are working in your business, working in your business, okay. So from the books of account, they are able to analyze, they can expect there will be increase in their salary, their bonuses, commission, incentive, there will be raise in our salary, whether they will deduct our salary. This can be compared with the help of accounting. This can be help, these are the other uses of accounting. So employees are the internal parties, that's why they are considered as an internal users. Next one, that is tax authorities. Now what is considered as tax authorities? CBDT, Central Board of Direct Taxes, Central Board of Indirect Taxes. These are considered as a tax authorities. So what we are doing, we are making books of accounts. Government will see what kind of profit we made, and from that we have to pay some taxes to the companies, to these authorities. So finally, what text we have to give to this authority, they are going to check books of accounts and they will compare the actual data. And what they are doing, they need to verify whether we have paid the same amount, what which is going to be happen, or we have made any kind of frauds in that. They are considered as a external users. Now next one, that is number 10, professional bodies. So there are some professional bodies who are making or who are working for the specifically for the commerce division. So accounts prepares are preparers, or who prepares the account, they are known as the professionals. So who prepares the accounts? The books of accounts are prepared by the accountants, and who are going to verify it? ICAI, ICWA, CMA, ICAI. ICAI, that means Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. ICWA, that means Institute of Cost and Works Accountants, CWA. Then CMA, same way, CMA, that means Certified and Management Accountants. Then ICSI, Institute of Company Secretaries of India. So these are some professional bodies which we are which courses they were offering. CA, this institute offers the course of CA. This gives you the course of Cost and Works Accountant. Okay, ICI will give you the course of CS. So these are some professional bodies, and they were making books of accounts. So sometimes they were also in need of your accounts. On that basis, they can prepare some new rules and regulations. They are also considered as an external users. Next one, that is researchers and the analysts. Now this is the most important group. Why? Because you see in previous 10, some of them are related or not related with the company directly, but the researcher and analyst, this group is totally independent in nature. This group is totally independent in nature. There is no intervention by any of them in their work, okay, in the work of researcher and the analyst. They are not working in favor of anybody, they will not work in anyone's favor. Few agencies are also who prepares the reports or accounts. For example, CRISIL, CIBIL, ICRA. These are some external users who are preparing the reports. They are researcher, they are analysts. They will give you the actual facts and figures related with the business. So by this, you are able to know what is the actual condition of the business. So these are the users of accounting information. And the last one, that is government, the wholesale government. Finally, it is a responsibility of a government to bring efficient and effective management in the country. If your data is there, what they will do? They will collect all the information. On that basis, what they will do? They will make some policies, okay, which will help you for your business. For example, let's take today's example. MSME businesses are given some more and more benefits in present scenario in this pandemic duration. So these decisions can be taken by the government. On what basis they have taken some decision? On the basis of effective and efficient management of the country. What they have shown, they have seen the books of accounts. On that basis they come to some conclusion. So finally, for the betterment of the countries, they can do anything. And finally, they are also considered as an external users because they are directly not related with the company. Okay, so this is the end of the second part. I hope you have liked, shared and subscribed to the channel. If you see as maximum, or if you share it to the maximum, it will motivate me to make more and more videos as I come on a conclusion. Because on economics I am getting you more views, in accountancy we are getting just views of 125 or 130. So if the people are not going to see more videos, we are going to stop it and we are only continuing with the economics part. Okay, so if you have like it, and if any one of your friend is planning to take admission in 11th commerce, just give him the video. He is able to make some decisions with the help of this. Thank you so much. Just like this and share it to maximum. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.